What started off as a Halloween fan game slowly transitioned into what we know it as today, a three-part game series that was lost with time, where only one of the games survived and launched Puppet Combo into the indie horror community. Babysitter Bloodbath is considered a classic among the indie horror community, and if you haven't played it already, I recommend that you do before watching this video. Considering there is a fairly large history behind this game and its two long-lost brothers, I've decided to do some research on the games, so let's just get right into my favorite part of all these videos, the breakdown. As I stated in my History of Puppet Combo video, their first game was a Halloween fan game called Halloween 3D. The game's development started all the way back in 2002 and was worked on and off continuously until August 14th, 2012. You play as Michael Myers and you walk around a hospital killing doctors and nurses, picking up weapons along the way, and that's basically the game. The game is nearly impossible to find because it was never released under Puppet Combo's name, and the only official release was on the Pig Farmer Games website, which was taken down after Puppet Combo rebranded. In the same year, Puppet Combo started development on the first game in the Babysitter Bloodbath trilogy. Sanitarium Massacre follows in the footsteps of Halloween 3D, but this time, the level was larger, there were a lot more innocent bystanders to slaughter, and it introduced us to the infamous serial killer antagonist, Nicholas Burr. Your objective in Sanitarium Massacre is to escape the mental hospital while killing as many people as possible to get some style points on the way out. This game then leads us into our next game, which was also released in the same year. This game follows the same premise of the last two games, except this time it takes place in the suburbs of Washington. You play as Nicholas Burr again. This game takes place after Nicholas Burr has escaped from the mental hospital and is on the loose. These two games are our formal introduction to our serial killer, and for the first time, we're in the perspective of Nicholas's next victim. Of course, most of you know this game as Babysitter Bloodbath, but for a short period of time, this was another Halloween spin-off. As you probably know, the game's name was changed to Babysitter Bloodbath, and Michael Myers was turned into Nicholas Burr because of copyright issues. Although the game was released in 2013, the game didn't get the attention of YouTubers like Markiplier, PewDiePie, and Corey Kenshin until 2014. Puppet Combo followed up with Power Drill Massacre, yada yada yada, that's for another video. And now that we've covered the history of Puppet Combo's debut trilogy of games, it's time we get into my favorite part of all these videos, the breakdown. Honestly, I found the controls slightly outdated, but that's to be expected considering it's a fairly old game. I think it would be nice if Puppet Combo remastered the game to give it the same first-person camera as something like Nun Massacre or Night Ripper. A handful of people from my last video on Puppet Combo said that they think the restrictive Resident Evil camera angles and the difficult to use tank controls add to the game's scariness and make the player uncomfortable. Whereas if it didn't make the player uncomfortable, it would fail as a horror game. I completely disagree with this. There's a lot of games that can be scary without taking away from the game's playability. I think the game would be just as scary, if not scarier, with an updated control scheme and updated first-person camera system. Besides the controls, I thought the rest of the game was pretty good. I liked the introduction to Nicholas Burr and the other characters. Puzzles were simple but not totally easy, which I thought made it more enjoyable. The chase scene was pretty good. I thought the house was a good place for a chase scene like that, and overall the gameplay side of things was pretty enjoyable. I'm pretty sure the game only has 3 songs, but for a shorter game that only takes about 40 minutes to complete, this is acceptable. Although I thought it was kinda weird that the game had absolutely no ambient soundtrack inside of the house. There were a couple sound cues every now and then, but while completing things like puzzles, there was no music. The chase themes are pretty good though. They both have deep and dark synth notes that vary in pitch, and it really fits the setting of the game's dark and narrow hallways of the house. Puppet Combo tends to keep their music quality pretty consistent, and obviously, more recently they've had better music in their games, but this is a really solid start for the time. I think the game's scariness has definitely toned down throughout the years. Considering how many games have come out since then that have blown it out of the park with how terrifying their music and chase scenes are, I think I've been desensitized to scary games, mainly because of Puppet Combo's more recent games, to the point where it almost feels like this game was a puzzle game and not a horror game. Don't get me wrong, it can definitely still scare the right group of people, but not me really. I kinda just played it because it's a Puppet Combo game. That's not to say the game wasn't good at all, it's just that it's aged over the years, which shows the fact that Puppet Combo has improved. I hope you guys enjoyed my attempt at a deep dive into Puppet Combo's most notorious slasher game, a first of many and most definitely a historic landmark of the indie horror community. Now before I end the video, I have two things I wanted to say. Firstly, I will be taking a month-long break because I'm having a surgery soon and obviously I need to recover. After the break, I'll be having more quality content for you guys, so stay tuned. And secondly, I wanted to thank Puppet Combo for retweeting the last video I did on them. That helped out my channel immensely and I hit my goal of 100 subscribers. The video also currently has a staggering 6,500 views and is continuing to grow every day, so thank you for that. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and a comment, and if you want to see more content like this in the future, be sure to subscribe because there's much more on the way.